Hey folks, good morning. How are you guys doing today? Can you guys hear me loud and clear? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. And after that we can start. Okay, thank you for letting me know. So I'm on Nasdaq. I'll start with Nasdaq. I'm not looking at dollar, so don't request me to look at dollar. And I'll start with the daily chart, what I see on the daily chart and what I don't. So that's what I see on daily chart. We have this reclaimed volume balance that I'm watching. Okay, this volume balance that price used before to get support towards sell side liquidity. I'm watching it again, and I want to see a reversal from this reclaimed volume balance. Why am I saying it's a reclaimed volume balance? It was supposed to provide support for price toward buy side liquidity, okay, because it's between two bullish candle, and now it broke. It's providing support for price towards sell side liquidity. Okay, so that's why I'm mentioning it here as a reclaimed volume imbalance. And if price is expanding higher, which I'm not expecting, then we have this little separation, another volume imbalance on daily chart where price can go. Okay, price generated enough relative equal lows for me to not be bullish. Okay, like relative equal lows down here, a lot of relative equal lows. We'll talk about that when I drop down to the lower time frame. So these two levels that I'm watching from the daily chart, and I'm also watching this order block. Okay, below it we have sell side liquidity resting, strong sell side liquidity, which means relative equal lows, clean levels tends to be jagged. Okay, but I don't need price to come all the way down. That's the reason I'm marking this order block. In future I'm expecting it to be my low hanging fruit. And what specific level I'm watching inside this order block is the mean threshold. Okay, other than that I don't care like how price is reacting inside of this order block. I only care about how price is reacting inside this mean threshold of this order block, bullish order block. Okay, if this mean threshold of this order block is broken and we are in a trade, we can take a partial here or like hold longer and put our TP right here. Okay, and we have relative equal lows down here. Once I drop down to lower time frame, you'll see. Now I'm gonna take it to 1 hour where we have a BC. Okay, that's another reason for me to mark the mean threshold of this 4-hour order block. Okay, because it has a fair value gap aligned with it, and above this fair value gap we have small relative equal lows. Do you guys see it? Yeah, so it makes sense in my eyes for price to reach all the way down in this fair value gap and then this mean threshold of this 4-hour order block. So these two levels that I want to see price revisiting today. Okay, and there's another fair value gap on hourly chart, and I'm marking the mean threshold of it. Okay, I want to see how price reacts inside here, and we can target it if price is reaching all the way up here. This gray shaded box that you see is the volume imbalance from our daily chart. Okay, so I want to see how price reacts inside this level. We have a swing high here, so buy side liquidity, so price can easily come up here and provide buy side liquidity here. Okay, you don't need to reach all the way up here to clear this swing high, because of the relative equal lows that I'm watching and price is leaving it. Okay, because of these relative equal lows that price didn't take out, I want to see price showing a willingness to reverse from this reclaimed volume imbalance from the daily chart. And if price is expanding higher, we have this level, okay, our last line of defense to expect a bearish price action today. And we'll try to use the thank God it's Friday, the concept that ICT introduced. And I think this point is with this reclaimed volume balance, this level will be a reversal zone for Nasdaq. Okay, if Nasdaq is reversing from this volume imbalance, we can use our thank God it's Friday, that concept today. Okay, because to use that concept, you will have to know like from where price is reversing. At least you will have to predict with some certainty, and I'm doing it. And this volume imbalance that I see, that makes sense to me for a reversal. Okay, now I'm gonna drop down to the 50-minute chart, and do you guys see how clean this level is? Yes, it's very, very clean. And I'm not buying anything today until I see these relative equal lows are getting taken out and price revisiting this fair value gap. Okay, this fair value gap is on 50-minute chart, so I'm gonna mark it in case I forget. 15-minute. What is so significant about this fair value gap? Okay, why am I marking this one specifically? Why not this one? Okay, there's really equal lows down here, then why HYDRA you are not marking this one, right? It coming with order block. I'm marking only what I see as a low hanging fruit, okay, where price can just easily hit my TP and I can be done, okay, without feeling emotional. Yes, I do see price reaching all the way down here, but this is my low hanging fruit. And on 5-minute chart, does this level make sense to you? Yeah, on 15-minute, there's a fair value gap, only a fair value gap, and there's a bullish order block down here. But once you drop down to like a lower time frame, you will see a consecutive down close candles that makes a fair value gap a strong fair value gap. Okay, like we can expect to see a small little reversal from this level as our bias is bearish. So this is a very good place to take partial or suppose put our TP on, okay, because of the order block that is coming with this fair value gap. So you can put it this way, like this fair value gap is making these order blocks strong, or these order blocks are making this fair value gap strong. Either way, it's a very strong PD array. That's the reason I'm marking it from the 50-minute chart and not this one. Okay, once price breaks this fair value gap, we will then watch how price reacts inside this fair value gap. Then we will drop down to the lower time frame, and okay, we will have our business around inside this fair value gap. Until then, I want to see price revisiting here, and the reversal zone can be expected from this volume imbalance. On Nasdaq, now I'm going to be talking a little bit about Dow Jones. We still have 7 minutes. I'm not considering this macro, okay, because of the news that we have at 8:30. It's a high impact news, so I prefer to watch rather than forcing any trade idea. Yesterday we had 2 losses. Let's see we can mitigate it today. I'll take two trades with you all, and it's gonna be on my live fund. So let's see what we can do today. Okay, if 2 trades comes out to be a winner, then good. Like if 2 trades are coming out to be a loss, then that's gonna be it for today. Does it make sense? So let's drop down to, let's go to Dow. And on Dow, okay, if price is reaching higher, where can be our draw on liquidity? Our draw on liquidity can be this BPR from the daily chart on Dow, okay, and these 2 real lines that you see, it will make sense once I drop down to the lower time frame. And it will also make sense why am I marking this BPR, okay, specifically, why not anything inside this fair value gap. And on 4-hour chart, I don't basically see anything. There's no fair value gap here, so we will have to use relative equal lows from the lower time frame. Other than that, I only see a fair value gap here, which I believe will fail to provide support for price towards buy side liquidity. It's a BC, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, and I'm expecting to see this BC to get failed. So I'm not gonna mark it because of the relative equal lows that are resting here. And we have a volume imbalance right here where we can take partial. It is visible on daily chart. Do you guys see it? A small little separation. It's not a liquidity void. Some of you I see marking volume imbalance, liquidity void. A liquidity void is when price is no weeks in between a gap, okay? Either it's a new week opening gap or new day opening gap, and if it's not that, then it's a liquidity void when price has little separations where no price action is happening and it's just a gap. There's no wick or anything. Okay, so it's a volume imbalance. We can use this level to take partial or probably put our TP on. So this is the level I'm watching, this volume imbalance, and all the way down here these relative equal lows. Price action is a little bit choppy today, right? It's not choppy, but it's a little bit hard to like, you know, trade on because price is not respecting these levels and it's waiting for time. So we'll have to watch like at what time price is reversing. I'm not considering 8:30 for a reversal, but we'll see what price does at 8:30, and after that 8:30 move will open our 9:30 prediction. Okay, I want to see how price delivers inside that 8:30 news. Once the delivery is clear, price opens its hands, we can trade at 9:20 to 9:30 macro. So this is it. That's the whole thing that I'm watching, and this is the original consolidation, okay, the accumulation phase that I'm watching, and I'm expecting to see price revisiting here. And all of this price action, this back and forth consolidation that you see, it happened inside this volume imbalance from the daily chart. Okay, so reclaimed volume imbalance, and as you can see price respected it, and that's the reason that I'm expecting to see price respecting this level again. It may not reach all the way down here. Okay, these relative equal lows is also a double bottom. Okay, so it's a support for retails. It may not reach all the way down here, but we can expect to see a tap inside this volume imbalance into this original consolidation, and if price is going lower, then it's good. Do you guys see how price respected this volume imbalance? Look at the candle's body respecting this volume imbalance to the tick. That's how you know that what levels price can use in future. Okay, the levels price used before in future, the same period price will use again, either for support or resistance, and we'll see what it does in this level inside here. So my bias is bullish. I hope it's clear. Sorry, bearish, not bullish, bearish, and I'm looking for bearish trades, shorts specifically. So I'll put the Nasdaq chart here. I'll be mainly focusing on Nasdaq, as Nasdaq makes more sense to me because it has clear levels that price is reaching for, compared to Dow. Like Dow is a little bit choppy and is way further than the level that I want to see from where price can reverse. This little BPR is a little bit far from this BPR to reach all the way up. But if you look at Nasdaq is really close to this reclaimed volume imbalance, and it has clean targets like these relative equal lows. So that's the reason I'll focus on Nasdaq. And now I'll drop down to 3-minute, and I'll put like 15-minute here or 5-minute. I hope everything makes sense. We'll just wait and watch how price delivers. We have 3 minutes before our liquidity gets provided, high level of liquidity. Look at these levels, folks. Like, you want to buy like from here or anywhere from here? No, if you are thinking about buying when these levels are clean like this, you are wrong. Okay, so we'll wait and we'll see how price delivers this liquidity level right here. And if price is just consolidating, suppose at 8:30 news it wasn't that volatile, then at 9:30 we can expect to see price delivering here. Two things can happen at 8:30 news. Either price is revisiting this reclaimed volume imbalance, which will be good for us to see, as we'll have these clean levels to target on at 9:30 volatility. Okay, 9:30 opening. If price is, the second scenario is if price is reaching all the way down here, clearing these levels out, then we will wait and see where price generates clean levels. Okay, clean levels are on sell side liquidity So we'll watch like how price behaves from these levels. Okay, so these are the two expectation that I'm expecting: a revisit of this reclaimed volume imbalance or down here. Either way, price will open its hands. So let's just wait and see how price chooses to deliver. And look how price consecutively like provided only buy side liquidity. It engineered sell side liquidity by generating these clean levels. I think price will revisit this reclaimed volume imbalance. What do you guys think, right? And it will be a good reversal point, this reclaimed volume imbalance. So let's see what happens. Yeah, stock magician. I was going to trade on Monday, stream on Monday, but this is a very good day, okay, because of the levels that I'm watching, and I want to watch with you all like how price delivers inside these clean levels. So let's see what happens. Wow, look at this push towards the buy side liquidity, right? If price is still expecting higher, we have this level, okay, but it's a very good level for price to reverse, and it generated relative equal high again. So our prediction was pretty much right? Like this reclaimed volume imbalance. Do you guys see why it's so significant and why I was talking about this from the daily chart? This reclaimed volume imbalance. Watch on your own chart, right? What price did on other time frames. I'm only watching 50-minute chart, right? But watch like on lower time frame, what is inside this volume imbalance. And if I take you onto the like 50-minute chart, you will see these relative equal highs. Okay, so now the price is reaching higher. This is gonna be our draw on liquidity, this volume imbalance from the daily chart. Okay, we have a high here, a swing high, and relative equal highs all the way up here. Okay, so price is reaching for this swing high. Wow, this delivery was really aggressive, right, towards the buy side liquidity. Yeah, there's a lot of relative equal highs even on Dow. Okay, they are moving together, which is good, which makes our trades, which will make our trades a high probability setup. Yeah, you were right, Haidian. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. There's a lot of relative equal highs, so you want me to confirm it for you? Yes, inside this BPR. Okay, these two real levels that I marked, I didn't talk about it. Okay, this gray shaded box on Dow is our daily BPR, and inside this daily BPR we have these relative equal highs. Okay, so I'm expecting to see a reversal from these two levels. I want to see price clearing it out before expanding lower. So yeah, you are right. And here's your relative equal highs. These are relative equal highs, and we don't want to see price rejecting from the rejection block. Where is the rejection block? This is the rejection block here that price respected before this. Okay, let me change the color of the box. Yeah, this red shaded box that you see, this is the rejection block. I don't want to see price respecting it again. Rather, I want to see price break through it and go above. Stand right. Okay, the price is so close to take these levels out. Okay, so when Nasdaq and Dow are moving together, okay, and how do you know that they will continue to do so? You expect to see they should be moving together even on future. Okay, if they are moving together in past price behavior, they will continue to do so, and you will expect that. And when you see something like this, you should mark levels both on, suppose you are not trading on Dow, then it's gonna be yes for you. They mark the levels that you see on ES that make sense to you, okay, like from where price can reverse on ES, and then wait for price to reach all the way up here, both in both charts, okay, on Nasdaq, on ES, on Dow, and then wait for a reversal. That gives a clear confirmation. And if you know how to use your own chart, okay, as a barometer, like I'm looking at Dow and I'm comparing both of the price and I'm expecting for a reversal, okay, and if you know that, you don't need to watch dollar. We are not trading on dollar, we are using dollar as a barometer. Okay, so if you can use your own charts as a barometer, then that's good. Do you guys see how Nasdaq, this bearish candle, when did it opened? Once Dow cleared the relative equal high. What relative equal highs? These ones. Okay, this bearish candle got generated as soon as Dow cleared the buy side liquidity from here. Okay, so that's a very good point. I think Nasdaq is yet to reach its daily volume imbalance, and we have another buy side liquidity all the way up here at 34,550, which is a very good number for price to revisit. So I'll put a alert here, and we'll mainly focus on Nasdaq. So Nasdaq also cleared out, I think, another buy side liquidity. Yeah, this swing high, and only buy side liquidity that are resting above us is here inside this daily volume balance. Trading metamorphosis. Yes, learning a concept is not that hard. If you only put like 2-3 months into ICT concept, I think you will be very good knowing like where price is reaching and all that good stuff. But the main thing is like working inside these levels. Anyone can mark like a fair value gap, a BPR, but very few can understand like how price will react inside these levels. Okay, so that's what the narrative is. Not marking the levels and watching how price delivers inside it. No, you should expect to see, like, you should be putting something in your mind like how price should react inside these levels. It doesn't matter if you are wrong or right, continue to do so. Like, okay, I'm expecting to see a reversal from this reclaimed volume imbalance, right? I was expecting to see that, but price didn't did that, but price reached here. Now I have another level to watch for a reversal. That's the narrative. Okay, you expect to see a reversal with lower time frame targets. Like, I have a target, I have a logic for price to revisit these levels, and that's the reason I'm expecting to see a bearish price action at 9:30. So this volume imbalance, let's see how price behaves. Is reaching for this daily volume imbalance on Nasdaq. Okay, sorry, I muted myself. Sorry guys, I think I was talking and I didn't know like it's muted. So I was talking about this relative equal high, that from where we were expecting to see a reversal. Okay, it's not only that you were marking a higher time frame PDR level and you were only expecting to see reversal from there. You should be dropping down to lower time frame and you should see like what's inside those higher time frame levels. Okay, that gives precision. Once you drop down to the lower time frame inside of a higher time frame PDR, your precision in trading will increase. Just like this. Okay, I expected to see a reversal from this exact level. Okay, yeah, price reached all the way up in the volume imbalance, but from where exactly price reversed? From these relative equal highs. Right, so let's still wait. We still have these relative equal highs all the way up here. So even if price is taking these levels out, we can still expect to see a reversal, as it can be a week on daily chart, and we know that week does the manipulation. So our manipulation can be expected all the way up here. So now let's see. Once price shows us clean, it wanna reverse. Okay, once price goes below these down close candles that I marked, this green shaded box that you see, then I will go to the daily chart and I'll try to forecast the thank God it's Friday setup. Thank God it's Friday will only work once you know from where price is reversing. Okay, it's a bit tricky concept, but once you know from where price is reversing, it gives a clear idea where price will revisit again or drop again. It doesn't take 1 year to fully understand ICT concept. It takes a long time to understand how price behaves. ICT concept is not the holy grail, folks. If you are thinking like if you master every other ICT concept you will be profitable, you are so fucking wrong. Trust me, you are wrong. Okay, and you will believe that once you like try so hard with this concept to make money. It's not the holy grail. Trust me, it's not. The holy grail is how you are controlling yourself once you are facing losses. Okay, if those losses are controlling yourself, you will not make it in this industry. So the main point is emotions. That's the holy grail. If you know how to control yourself, you will eventually make money in this industry. So do you guys see how price is using these down close candles to get support towards buy side liquidity? Yeah, that's why I marked these levels. Okay, this green shaded box that you see, inside that we have consecutive down close candles from our past price behavior from 21st June, and if price is going below those order blocks, okay, those down close candles, reclaimed order blocks, we can expect to see that a reversal point got created. But if price is respecting these levels to get support towards buy side liquidity, we can expect to see like price clearing out more equal highs. So that's why it's so significant to me, this green shaded box. Okay, so do you guys saw the recent tweet from our mentor? He was like saying to us, every model I teach is simple. I have made complicated models that work. I have shared easy models that work, and people all around the world are making fortunes with them with real money. I taught you how to make your own model that fits you. Okay, that's the main line sentence that you should be focusing on. Like, I taught you how to make your own model that fits you. ICT himself is not saying to you to master every other ICT concept. If you do that, you won't make money. Okay, folks, that's as simple as that. If you are a beginner, so as a beginner, you should be focusing on what model fits your personality, what model can you trust, what model is generating less emotions inside you and giving you more profits. And I have that. I have my breaker block model that comes with a stop loss, that comes with a TP. Okay, like I know where I should be putting my TP in my model. Do you know that? Every single time my model forms, I know where to put my TP. Do you know that? Or you are just putting your TP inside like random fair value gap, random order block? My levels are specific, relative equal lows, relative equal highs. Every single fucking time a breaker block forms, there will be relative equal lows, relative equal highs, where I can take my partial TP. Okay, so yeah, you should be working on your model like this. A breaker block working for me, it doesn't mean that it will work for you. Something else maybe is working for you, like 2022 mentorship, and you know where to put your stop loss and TP in those models, right? So price showed us willingness to reverse. Okay, so I think TGIF setup is getting activated. So now I'll go to the daily chart. Let's hide the drawings first. Hide drawings. And how do we use the TGIF setup? Thank God it's Friday. Okay, I think I don't have it. Oh, it's on my Fibonacci tool, not on Kanban box. So here, so we can expect to see these levels are getting revisited. 0.5, 0.4, 0.3 and 0.2 levels. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to, wow, my chart is looking so messy. I don't like it at all. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna mark the levels rather than putting the whole thing on my chart. It's making my chart so choppy. So 0.4, this is the level I'm gonna be focusing on. 0.4. ICT mainly focuses on like 0.2 and 0.3, but I want to see these levels are getting revisited. 0.4 and 0.5. So this concept is more like the ICT PDR projection. Do you guys know that the Fibonacci projection that we use is more like that, like this projection that I'm talking about. Okay, wait, projection, yeah, this one. A standard deviation projection is more like this, the standard deviation projection, but it's a little bit different because of the levels 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 and 5. And then this one 0.3. It's a very simple concept. If you watch ICT's video again, thank God it's Friday, I hope you will understand. It's not that hard to understand, even for a new trader. And it makes sense for price to come all the way down and revisit these levels, right? As we have relative equal lows down here. And I'm gonna be putting on the thank God it's Friday. Now let's wait for our setup to form. We know which levels price can revisit with high probability, right? These levels on Nasdaq. So now we'll wait and watch. If price is forming a breaker block here, that can be also nice. So let's look at 1 minute chart. So it's 850. ICT macro is running right now, and we have a fair value gap here. 850 to 910. That's a macro that ICT macro that runs, but I don't trade inside that macro. I believe price manipulates inside this level, okay, more than it does on other macros. So that's a fair value gap. Let's see if price continues to drop from this fair value gap or it gets revisited up all the way up here. We have this down close candle here, right? But do I see a clean swing level? Yes, here. So is it a breaker block? Swing high, consecutive down close candles lower than this one. Yes, I think we can consider this candle as a breaker block. So our stop hunt is here and our breaker block is here. Price is getting rejected from this fair value gap. Now let's wait. Okay, I'm not gonna be taking this setup as it's outside of my macro, but I would like to watch like how price delivers inside 850 to 910 macro. The time zones that I don't trade, I like to trade in those levels on my demo account. So a 2R, right? Where can we put our TP? 2R can be right here. Okay, it's a demo trade that I'm gonna be taking. I wanna see like how 850 macro delivers. A partial can be here. Nice partial, 0.3. Sell. Okay, done. Stop loss will be above here and TP will be down here. Partial will be at 0.3 level. Create a new contract, trade, buy. Now let's wait. I'm only taking this trade on demo. Okay, I want to see this setup looks clean to me as price is rejecting from this fair value gap. Okay, I'll put my stop loss above this. Okay, like this, and move my TP a little bit lower. So now let's see how price behaves inside 850 to 1010 macro. Sorry, 850 to 910 macro. That's how I build my experience from charts, okay folks, by not taking the setups that I don't usually take on my live funds. Okay, it's a time period where I rarely, I don't think like in 2 years, I maybe only pushed button inside this time period 2 or 3 times, I believe. So it's not a time period where I will take trades inside my live funds, but I would like to watch how price respect these levels, respect this time zone. Center, middle, and 14. Okay, so now let's watch price delivering, trading, position, orders, and there goes the execution marks. Okay, down here, good. We are not selling, it's a demo trade. Okay, I'm not like putting all my effort inside this trade, but I want to see how price behaves inside this macro. Okay, if it's turning out to be a loss, I don't care. Oh my god, you guys cannot hear me, or you can hear me. Let me confirm me like if you can hear me or not. So we have a small little relative equal high here, so that's also a level that I'm watching. This small little separation that you see not a separation, but these clean levels right here. And because of that, I'm putting my stop loss above it, not basically like above the breaker block that I marked here. My high probability setup, okay folks, it forms inside 920 to 930 period. So in between that time, if a setup forms, I'll take it again on my live funds. But this setup, okay, it's a low probability setup. It's inside of a time period that I believe price manipulates. So yeah, I'm testing out my trade ideas. If I was like trading personally, not streaming, I would have did the same thing. Took this trade on demo, then watch like how price behaves inside certain levels. That's how you know like at what time frame your model will work. Okay, you can extend your model like this. So once you become like once this setup, like suppose inside this time period I'm winning more than I'm losing, only then I'll take that trade in my live funds. But I was losing more than I was winning inside this time period. So let's see again. That's a very clean trade setup that I saw. Okay, price showed us clean willingness to reverse from this volume imbalance, daily volume imbalance. And on 3-minute chart we have this order block right here. So let's see how price behaves from here. Is it 2 hour though? If it's hitting our TP, if it's a 2 hour or not, let's see. Yeah, it's looking good. Do you guys see how price delivering inside this time period? Okay, the volatility is so low and price is just like, to me it's a manipulation phase. Okay, 8:35 till 9:20, that's the time period I tell you guys always that that's a manipulation period. I don't personally take trades inside of this level, but today I'm doing it on my demo account. So let's see how price does behave inside here. Look at that, every single day focus inside this time period. Watch how price delivers inside this time period, 8:50 to 9:10, and trust me, more than 70 to 80% of the time you will see price manipulating. What do I mean by manipulating? Delivering liquidity in low volatility. Okay, chopping around inside a specific range. Suppose a order block, a higher time frame order block, in between this time period, it will just consolidate inside that order block. Or if suppose a fair value gap from higher time frame, it will consolidate inside that fair value gap inside this time period. Okay, 8:35, after 8:35 till 9:20. Why price consolidates inside that time period? Because at 9:30 the high volatility comes in. So price was basically accumulating orders for that 9:30 delivery. I hope that makes sense. Why price consolidates inside these levels, okay? Inside this time period, 8:35 till 9:20. And I've been streaming for like 2 months, and you guys saw me mentioning a lot of the times that in between that time price manipulates, and you watched with me how price manipulates. Okay, we took trades at 9:20 to 9:30 that came out to be profitable, and we avoided 8:50 to 9:10 macro because of that. Okay, so this fair value gap, I want to see if this fair value gap still holds price or not. So price cleared out the liquidity levels. We have this order block, and I don't want to see the mean threshold of this order block is getting revisited. That's the reason I put my stop loss here at the mean threshold of this order block. Okay, so another trade. Okay, you guys saw like inside this time period how price manipulates, right? We saw a clean setup the way I teach you all. Higher high, new higher high, but you should be avoiding trade inside here. Okay, now do you see why I tell you guys to do that? This time period, inside this time period is so low volatile. Okay, like look at the volatility, look at the delivery. If you are entering in between this time period, you are basically like will have to wait more longer than you will be waiting like inside our other macros. 820 to 830, 920 to 930, in between these time periods price becomes volatile. Okay, and you want to trade inside the volatility. You want to get done as soon as possible from your trades. I hold this trade longer than I do inside my macros, other macros like 920 to 930. Okay, so now I will wait for I'll wait to take a trade inside 920 to 930 period on my live funds, and I believe in between that time period we can expect to see a clean setup forming. So this was our breaker, which I think is turning out to be a order block. Okay, Dow seems like reaching for this level up here, this buy side liquidity all the way up here. I'm proving to you all, okay, in between that time period 835 till 920, it doesn't matter whatever setup you see, I will highly suggest you not to take trades inside this time period. Okay, and you saw the logic behind it. Look at that, look at the delivery here inside this time period. Is it good? Or do you want to take trades inside this time period? I don't, and I learned it in a hard way. Okay, my win rate, my ratio, it suggests me that not to take any trades inside this time period. It doesn't matter. Okay, even if price is generating a BPR or whatever you say, it doesn't matter. Even the strongest PDRA, you will see it failing inside this time period. So we have this swing high here. Let's see if price revisit this swing high or not. Okay, so Dow cleared out the relative equal height that I marked, and Dow also revisited the BPR. Okay, that's something to watch here, this BPR, and the mean threshold of this BPR is this red line. But once you drop down to the lower time frame, this red line will make more sense to you because of the relative equal highs. Look at that, this swing high, which is relatively equal to this high. So price basically provided buy side liquidity efficiently, and that's what I believe. So now let's wait. The Lord, okay. Done. So let's see if a breaker block forms here. I want to see some down close candles here, okay? Not like aggressive run towards buy side liquidity, because if down close candles are forming here, then we can take those down close candles as a breaker block to put our TP right here, and that will give us our low hanging fruit. On 3-minute chart, these down close candles will work as our breaker block. And on 1-minute chart, I also want to see a breaker block forming somewhere here. We have a fair value gap here. Okay, so if price is dropping inside here and then retracing a little bit higher, and like suppose price creating a swing high here, then it's dropping here. I want to see this BC working as support and sending price higher again. If it does that, those down close candle that will be forming here, or I'm expecting to see forming here, will work out as our breaker block. Yes, Thomas, the bad thing about taking a setup that turns out wrong is that you miss the setup that's working while you are in the bad trade. See a breaker block and I fair value gap forming in 850 macro and NQ going up. Yes, if you saw it, then it's good. I didn't saw it, like NQ going up. I didn't saw it. I saw a reversal level, okay? Yes, like every single trade that turns out to be a loss, there's a opposite successful trade, okay? And you should not be worrying about that. If you think like that, like the impulsiveness, I think it will come back inside you. Like, okay, I missed this setup here. Okay, not right away. You will see like, okay, there's another setup formed, but once you lose another trade, you will push button again in the opposite direction, thinking it will go higher, and you may lose again. And that's what impulsiveness is, right? A revenge trading, basically. Eight, 9, 20. 2, 9, 30. So let's see if this BC provides support for price towards buy side liquidity. If it does that, I would like to see this swing high getting taken out. And if it does that, we'll have a 3 drive formation here. So things are looking pretty good, right? As I was expecting to see a reversal from this BC as support. Now let's see if price clears out this swing high or not. We are still inside of that daily volume imbalance though. This gray shaded box that you see is the daily volume imbalance. Looking good so far, right? Okay, 9:20 to 9:30. Let me fix the time periods. 9:20 to 9:35. Yes, the opening range gap is gonna be really huge. Yeah, like look at that, right? That's why I'm expecting to be like expecting a bearish price action. Like look at this gap right here. So we can also use this opening gap to take our partials. We'll watch how price behaves inside the gap that will be forming here, the opening range gap. Once it does, I will watch it. So the formation that I'm expecting to see, if I put it in a visual presentation, it will be something like this. So okay, wait, yeah, something like this. Like this. Okay, that's what I'm expecting to see. Now let's wait. My edge, okay folks, is inside these macro time periods. 8:20 to 8:30, then 9:20 to 9:30, 9:50 to 10:10. These three macros, only these three macros I use, okay? Other than that, if I'm still not finding any setup, or suppose I'm in a loss and I still have one more trade to take, then I will focus on like 10:50 to 11:10 macro. Other than that, I basically don't trade the PM session or any other macros. That's one of the reasons I'm streaming today, okay, because the delivery is aggressive towards buy side and price is continuously generating relative equal lows and not clearing it out. And as you saw, the delivery was really aggressive towards buy side, and the opening, the 9:30 delivery, I'm expecting it to be bearish because of the opening range that will be like huge. It's just so big gap. Overnight price delivered so much liquidity, and right now before 9:30 with this 8:30 news. So usually when an opening range gap is that big, it's good for us, okay? We can execute on trades by targeting the quadrant levels from new day opening range gap. If price is going below this down close candle before clearing out this relative equal high, I will not execute. I'm expecting to see price clearing these levels out, and I'm expecting to see price activating this breaker inside our macro. So the trade idea will be something like this. If price does what I'm expecting to see, trade idea will be something like this. A stop loss will be above the breaker and target will be this low. So it will be like a 3-hour. If I'm taking a partial, then it will be like a 2-hour trade. So without a stop hunt, I'm not engaging. I want to see a stop hunt first before engaging. And if price is leaving this relative equal highs and then dropping, okay, before the 930, then the 930 delivery, we can expect to see it towards buy side liquidity. So I'm watching, still waiting. Daily. Daily volume imbalance. But still, suppose I may not be able to take a trade from here as there's no stop hunt here, right? But I think I can use this fair value gap to execute on. If there's a no stop hunt, then I think I can execute from this fair value gap as an inversion. So there are two levels that I'm watching. This one, I want to see a stop hunt and then a return back below this down close candle. So this fair value gap, I want to see it working as an inversion in future. So let's still wait. Okay, all of the price action that you were watching above the daily volume imbalance to me is a manipulation. Okay, it's gonna be a candles wick. So we want to avoid the candles wick rather than focusing on where the candles body will be, which I think will be on the lower side. Now, does it make sense when I tell you guys that in between 8 to 850 to 835 till 920, we can expect to see like price manipulating most of the time. If you wanna trade inside it and you have a like clean narrative, then go for it. Like there's a fair breaker block that formed, lower low, new lower low that hit the discount period, this order block, but I didn't saw it at that time, but it was there, a fair value gap. Do you guys see it? So that breaker becomes a unicorn, right? And then it expanded higher, provided 2R. Oh no, I don't really like this price action here. Like it didn't cleared out the swing high. I wanted to see it clearing the level out before dropping. So other than a volume imbalance, daily volume imbalance, there's no new week opening gap anywhere near here Do we have anything lower? Yeah, we only have this gap down here, and other than this we have this gap right here. I think it's a new week opening gap. There's a new week opening gap at 15,300. Yes, it's way lower. Okay, 15,300, right? There's a new week opening gap at 15,300. Really? At this level? I wanna see. Oh yes, yeah, I saw it. 15,300. This level, this number looks good, right? But really, will it expand higher when there's relative equal lows, right? Like this? Yeah, that will be something interesting to watch if price is delivering all the way up here at 930. And I think it's possible as price left the relative equal highs here. Okay, when price does that, it's a signature from price that it will come back to these levels, and it's so near to it. Still, I want to see this BC getting filled and working as an inversion, and this BC alone will grant me an entry. So it's more of like a mitigation block right now rather than a breaker block. So I'll mark it as a mitigation. Yeah, it's possible, Thomas, like price can drop and get support from these levels. Okay, the gap that will be forming, the opening range gap, I think price can easily get support from that towards buy side liquidity. If it's leaving relative equal high like this, I believe what you were saying is possible. So we are inside of our macro right now, 920 to 930. Price is inside of it. So the volatility will come in. Let's wait. I don't see any setup even on Dow. Okay, there's no clear breaker block is forming, rather than price is generating relative equal high. Yeah, you are talking about this one, Mariwas. That's a possible breaker block, yes, but look at Dow and NQ. They both generated relative equal highs above, and we only have this breaker block from 3-minute chart on NQ Nasdaq. So let's wait. price still has time to go all the way up and clear these levels out before dropping, so let's wait. If price does that, we'll have a trade idea here below this down close candle. So these are our this candle. If price is going all the way up and clearing these levels out, then this down close candle will work as our big breaker block. Okay, now let's wait to see if this mitigation block is getting failed or not. Price generated enough relative equal lows. Okay folks, I'm not buying. I may be wrong, price may deliver like continuously throughout the whole AM session buy side liquidity, but I basically don't care. I trust in my model, so I'll keep continuing to do so. So on Dow, there's something important to talk about on Dow. The formation that happened right now is something that I want to talk about. Like, do you guys see this down close candle? Okay, so that's a swing high, new swing high, higher high, right? So a lot of you might consider like push button here, considering it as a breaker block. But look above, do you guys see the relative equal high? Yeah, so when price does that, even if you see like a clean breaker block, don't take that trade. Okay, even if price is going below and closing candle body below the breaker block, don't take it. Price will reverse and clear out the clean liquidity levels like here. So that's why I didn't consider this breaker block, okay, or this. Rather, I wanted to see price clearing these levels out. Okay, so that's something that I wasn't expecting to see. Look at that, they both are moving opposite to each other now. Dow delivered towards buy side liquidity, generated a SMT here. Okay, that's a SMT. So now let's see if price is getting support from this mitigation block. Now that we have a SMT, this mitigation block can work as a support towards sell side liquidity. So trade idea can be something like this, targeting this from this mitigation block, and I'm trusting it because of the SMT. Okay, do you guys see it? So I'm gonna still wait. It's 9:28 and I think I'll miss today's Judas. Okay, I think I won't be able to catch today's Judas. So price is retesting this mitigation block again. Watch it. Okay, I'm gonna tape read this setup rather than pushing button, because mitigation block is where I don't have an edge. So I prefer to watch it with you all rather than pushing button here. So I'm just gonna tape read this setup. Let's see how price does it from this mitigation block, if it's respecting this SMT or not, or if it's coming up and clearing these levels out. Okay, that's why I'm not engaging, because of the relative equal highs that you see all the way up here, and I'm gonna tape read this setup because of that, because of the relative equal highs. I would like to take a partial like here at this candle. So suppose there's a partial right here. Let's look at the opening range gap. I believe it opened Oh my god, look at this opening range gap. I'm gonna wait to see how this this candle closed. Now I'm gonna measure this gap. Okay, and we can expect to see price revisiting this 0.5 level of this gap. Okay, 0.5, and I'm gonna go back to the electronic trading hours. So here I told you guys that I will take a partial. Do you guys see why I was telling you guys that I would like to take a partial here? Because that's a breaker block, right? So I was right by not pushing button here, right? Do you guys see how this SMT failed? And Dow is continuing to drop lower. So that's how I avoid a couple of the losses when I don't believe in a setup, when I see SMT like this and clean levels. So I basically avoided 850 to 910 loss, then 920 to 930 Judas delivery loss. So it's something that I did good, even though I didn't make money, but I was protecting my balance, and I did it really well. I believe I did it well. I was able to identify from which level price can reverse and from where I can take a partial, right? These order blocks, I told you guys that it's a good level for a partial. I was tape reading, okay? Some of you may not be familiar with tape reading. Tape reading is something like when you only watch your charts, you outline the setup and you don't just push the button. And I do it mostly when I see a low probability setup like this here. So price used this breaker again to deliver towards buy side liquidity, this breaker block. Our next draw on liquidity, price is expanding higher, more higher than it can be this. But I don't want to see it like going higher than this because of the opening range gap. Look at that. Look at this gap. So let's see how price behaves inside this order block. Higher high, new higher high, breaker block here. Okay, so we still have 5 more minutes. If price is activating this breaker block inside 5 minutes, I'll take this setup. So the 3-dive pattern formed, right? Higher high, new higher high, another higher high. So to me, I see it as a 3-drive pattern, and I'm expecting to see price lower. I still want to see this order block getting failed. Okay, it's a bullish order block now, and I'm expecting to see it is working as a breaker block. Looking good. So this is a setup that I'm gonna be taking. Still 1 minute, let's see if it drops or not. If it's not dropping, I will wait for 950 to 1010 macro. I believe it's not gonna be dropping, so let's just wait for our next macro to start. So the 930 Judas was like a choppy delivery, right? Look at the price open lower at 930, hit this breaker block, then went higher, right? So even if you were buying from here, you can only buy from this order block. If you saw it, then that's a very good place for a buy. but I still prefer to wait. I believe a lot of you push button here, right? And now you're regretting. That's why you should wait. You wait for your setup to form, and if it doesn't form, you still keep waiting. Okay, that's how we work. Not every day is like you are gonna be taking setup. If you see a low probability setup, take it on demo, like me. Like I was avoiding my losses by pushing button on demo. Only high probability setup for folks. Once I see it, I will mention it to you. If I don't see it, I'll mention it as either I'm tape reading or taking it on my demo. So that's something that I believe every new trader should be focusing on: patience, to wait for a setup. The setup that they don't believe will work out, they should be pushing button on their demo funds, and that will not destroy your emotion. The psychological things. Okay, like if you push button here when you don't believe in your setup, you will regret, and that's what you should not be doing. So this is the only breaker I see, and it's outside of my macro. I believe at 950 to 1010 I will be able to take a setup. Alright, so let's mark the time period 950 to 1010. So we failed to predict our high. So these levels are not our, thank God it's Friday levels. We'll have to reconsider once price like drops again. Okay, so price is still upside, still above this daily volume balance, and I believe all of these are a daily candles week. Okay, and I still believe that it will drop. This opening range gap is like too much for me to buy. Look at this gap, and I want to see price delivering inside this gap. Other than that, I am not interested in trading in this market. So it's a good question, Thomas. It's a good suggestion. I never did actually watched, so I'll do that now. There's a new week opening gap and you were mentioning it to me. Oh, the indicator is most probably wrong, you know, because this indicator is not codified to show regular trading hours gaps. It only codified to show like the new day opening gap, and as you can see, this gap, it's referring it to as a new day opening gap, right? So yeah, I believe this indicator is wrong. There's no gap other than regular trading hours gap here. William, what are in your opinion good ways to be able to see the difference between a low probability and the A plus setup? Okay, so you saw me by not taking a trade here, even though I saw a mitigation block here, right? So in my setup, in my model, the breaker block model, it comes with relative equal high and low. So suppose you are expecting to see a bearish breaker and you want to take trade from that bearish breaker, so you don't want to see any relative equal highs above it. Okay, basically above the breaker block, no relative equal high. That's the rule. A relative equal low, if you see a relative equal low lower in your bearish breaker, then it's a high probability setup. If you see equal highs above your bearish breaker, then it's a low probability setup. That's how I mark it. Okay, your targets should always be lower, not above your setup. Here the target was above my setup. Okay, price got support from this breaker and I was not expecting to see price getting support from it, but it did. Okay, there's nothing saying when you are wrong. Okay, it's the people who like mock others when they're wrong, they're basically not traders. Okay, loss, folks, always, it will always be there. You will have to handle losses with risk management. You will face losses, 4 losses continuously, 7 losses continuously. If you break down in that part, you lost as a trader. So that's the main thing. That's why I closed my chat window for you all. I hope you don't mind, because some of you are still noob, and when someone lose a trade, you guys are like, he's not a trader, he's not a good trader, whatever. Like, you never lose. Every fucking trader out there, they face losses, continuous losses. It doesn't matter how good of a you are. If they are really showing you the losses, you will see a lot of losses. 945, 950, yeah, he's here. Okay, so the formation looks good. This is the volume, sorry, this is the new week opening gap. Yeah, I think it's a new week opening gap, right? Right, Thomas? Yeah, it's a new week opening gap. So now let's see if price reverses from here. Or is it like still expanding higher? And on Dow, if you guys look at, like, Dow is still consolidating inside the daily BPR that I mentioned. Well, I was not expecting this bullish price action today. To be honest, I'll be honest with you all, I wasn't expecting this push up. Rather, I was expecting to see price going lower, hunting relative equal lows. Really, look at Dow. Dow is looking scary. This price action, this back and forth price, I don't know who is making money here. Like, look at the delivery. This candle, every candle is opening lower with aggressive, then it's moving back to the discount, then it's moving lower again. Like seek and destroy, more like a seek and destroy here. The formation, it looks more like a seek and destroy. Suppose it's sold here, I believe price will reach here again. Suppose you bought here, price will come back to this level again. and it's basically consolidating inside the daily BPR. So now let's see if price goes below this volume imbalance. Yes, it did. Now let's wait and see if price forms any breaker block here, inside here. Yeah, I'm feeling so good that I closed the chat window. Like every time I used to look at the chat, someone was here commenting something negative. Wow, I believe I will not open the chat window for you all again. The normal one. It's better if I close it, right? I'm free, I'm thinking freely without like looking at other people's opinion. Yeah, that's what matters. A calm mind, okay? When you have a calm mind, you can trade with like you will enjoy your trading. I'm basically enjoying my tape reading. I'm wrong today, my bias was bearish. Price is continuously delivering bullish price action, and I'm basically happy to see that price action and how I was able to avoid a couple of losses. So that's something that you should be like focusing on as a trader, to build in yourself, like how to know which setup will work, how to identify a low probability setup, things like that. If this fair value gap is failing, okay, so no, if this fair value gap is providing support towards buy side liquidity, it will continue to deliver buy side liquidity. But I want to see it fail, this fair value gap. and I want to see it work as inversion. Now that we are inside of our macro, okay, what gives me confidence to predict this fair value gap as an inversion? My macro zone. Let's wait. I want to see this order block failing. If it does not do that, folks, it will continuously do so, delivering towards buy side liquidity. And I won't be able to push the button today, I believe. So price is basically respecting this order block right here. So it's a trendy market. I'll be a little bit cautious from now to choose my trade inside this macro. I think I will like look for 3 or 4 confirmations before I do actually push the button inside of any setup that will form like breaker block or inversion setup. ICT tweeted. Let's see what he tweeted. He's calling buy side liquidity. $44.93.75 on ES. ES buy side juicy. Really? What's there? Let's see. What is he talking about? 44.93. 44.93.75. Let's see what's so significant about this level. Why is he referring to 43 what 93? Why is not working? Okay, what's so significant about this level? What's there? Okay, this swing high. Is there anything else inside from past price behavior that possibly our mentor can mention? This fair value gap. Extend right. Yes, there's also a fair value gap, also a swing high here on ES. Now let's see if price reaches all the way up here. Okay, now that mentor gave us a target, let's see from where price can actually get support to deliver in this liquidity level. Okay, let's see. That's how I basically take ICT signal. Okay, I don't really push the button, but once he does that, I then drop down to like higher time frame and watch out like why he is calling that price level and from which levels price can actually get support. There's a fair value gap that price already used, and as you can see, it's a trendy market. It's basically on to retrace lower rather than I believe it will deliver here aggressively, right? So the volatility on ES and Dow is more than Nasdaq. Okay, so this fair value gap failed, okay, right now, and there's no relative equal high that I see above us. Extend right. On ES price is yet to reach this level. I think I won't be able to find any trades today, as I usually don't in a trendy market. So if price is like basically trending, I avoid that whole session. So this inversion, I want to see if price is using this as a resistance or not. This inversion. Okay, it didn't. Price is continuously using this BC again and again. Yeah, we have a 10 o'clock news that's like a medium impact news. Revised UOM consumer sentiment. Let's see what happens, folks, inside the news. I'm interested to tape read, or if I see a clean setup that will hunt sell side liquidity, I'm interested to take it. I still haven't pushed any button on my live fund, so I want to do it. And let's see if price does actually provide such a clean setup towards sell side liquidity though. Do you guys think price will revisit this level? From my perspective, and now that I'm looking on Dow is inside of a strong PD area, okay, BPR. And let's see, okay, folks, like I'm not questioning what Mentor is saying, but I'm also not questioning what I believe to see. On Dow, I'm expecting to see a reversal from this BPR. So Dow and ES, they tends to move together. So I'm not sure if ES will reach all the way up here to take this level out when it has so much sell side liquidity resting below. But anyway, my mentor has like 30 years of experience. Compared to his experience, me, I'm still a noob. So I'm open to learning how. If price reaches all the way up there, I believe like mentor used something else to call this price all the way up here, because I will not call this price all the way up here. Whether I will wait to see a reversal, all of these relative equal lows, I'm not buying. Dale, yes, good morning, and congrats, Dale, on your first payout. Congrats to you on that. I believe it was after a lot of prayers, a lot of patience, right, Dale? What is the RTH gap for, please? Okay, so RTH is the regular trading hours. We trade on electronic trading hours, and the gap that we use to take as a confirmation is on regular trading hours. Okay, so we'll only see these gaps on mini chart, C mini chart. Other than that, if you're using like your broker's chart, you won't see it. And I don't think like you will have to pay to watch the gaps, but the chart will be delayed if you are not in a premium subscription on TradingView. But you can still, I believe you can still see the gap after 10 minutes. because the chart is delayed for like 10 minutes. Maybe because it's over 50% over that gap is why the balance range may fail. Yeah, let's see. Like the daily BPR that I'm talking about is here on Dow Jones. Look at that. So price basically aggressively traded inside this big fair value gap. Okay, then from my point of view, it should stop here. And other than this daily BPR, I don't basically see anything else other than this swing high here on Dow that is resting at like 34.61 611. So it's 10:03. Do you guys see how medium impact news delivered? Nothing different, right? The volatility was so low and price is still continuing to chop. It's a choppy Friday here. Trendy, choppy. I see yes, inside of an order block reversal is possible. In what time frame, Arturo? On 1 hour you see on ES there's an order block. Let's see. Let's look at that. Okay, I believe you were talking about these ones, right? This order block. There was a breaker block here and it failed. So I believe Mentor is possibly right because price reached all the way up. It does make sense for price to revisit here, okay? A breaker is here though. Do you guys see it on hourly chart? And it failed. So let's see, okay? Like I'm not gonna be predicting anything. It's not a high probability scenario for me. It's this market is trending. If you think about it, the new week opening gap in regular trading hours mode indicator shows the opening range gap, RTH gap between Friday and Monday. That seems like a pretty good thing to look at. Really? I never looked at it like that though. I basically only use regular trading hour gap when the gap actually opens, and I target those like if suppose a gap is like unfilled like this one, and if price is still not filling it, I like to see price revisiting it in future. That's how I look at the gaps. And this gap is so fucking wide, so big. So let's see, okay folks, like I believe price will reverse, but if it's not reversing, we will continue to do the tape reading because I'm not buying anywhere, okay? I'm gonna be looking for shorts. I'm gonna be sticking with my bias. I'm not a buyer when this is a big gap, and when when price has so much sell side liquidity resting below. I'm not a buyer anywhere, and I may not be able to take a trade, but I don't basically care. If I change my sentiment here, my bias here, okay, what will stop me from changing my bias every day? No, I'm not gonna be doing it. I'm gonna be following my rules. I do see relative equal lows, and I want to see price clearing those levels out. as my rules tells me. Okay, so higher high, new higher high, and we are inside of our silver bullet zone though. So is there any fair value gap here? There's no fair value gap. There's a volume imbalance. Do you guys see it? A small little separation on 3-minute chart. 5 minutes is also visible. On 50 minutes is also visible. So I'll mark this 3-minute volume imbalance. And let's see if price uses this volume imbalance to get support again towards buy side or not. Volume imbalance. I believe this one will fail. This volume imbalance, and I want to see it fail. If it's failing, okay, if this volume imbalance is failing, this will be a second confirmation for us in this breaker block setup. This is a breaker block. Down close candle, the lowest down close candle, so it's a breaker. Higher high, new higher high. I want to see this volume imbalance getting failed. And this is going to be the last trade I'm going to be taking today, if everything is aligning with my rules. And I would like to take it inside my live funds. So it seems like this volume imbalance is not failing. ICT is using regular trading hour gap for past 5 days. So the new week opening gap in regular trading hour mode is just the first regular trading hour gap of the week. Yes. Yes, Thomas, you are right. But I'm not sure if ICT is using the gap only. So this volume imbalance is still providing support. If it's getting failed, this will be like a second confirmation for us to take this setup in this breaker block. First confirmation is price in a premium zone. Second one is like price cleared out the buy side liquidity from here. So basically a stop hunt happened, or you can say it as a turtle soup. Third confirmation will be if this volume imbalance is getting failed, and at the fourth confirmation I will engage in this breaker block. So in a breaker block setup, I basically need like 3 to 4 confirmation before I engage, and those confirmation makes my setup a high probability setup. So that goes back to your question, William Anderson, that you asked me how I choose my A plus setup. That's how I do it. I require 3 to 4 confirmation from higher time frame, lower time frame before I do actually engage on a breaker block. So Dow is, I think, yes, clear. Yeah, mentor was right, and I want to see like what he saw. I believe he will post a recording of his trade, because it's a very hard price action for me to trade on, right? Do you can trade, any of you can trade on this price action? I can't. Like, I do see order block, I do see other things, but it's not my model. I don't see my model here, anywhere here. The models that I use is basically like the failed fair value gap, breaker block. These two are my main models, and I don't see it here. None of the fair value gap is like failing. Everything is providing support towards buy side liquidity. So on Dow, price basically has a SMT now. Compared to Dow cleared out the buy side liquidity from 34,610. Now this price action is not in my favor. Today it wasn't on yesterday. So yesterday and today is price action is like not what I expect to see. Like, look at that, price is getting support from every other PDA towards buy side liquidity. This volume imbalance was from 3-minute chart, right? Do you guys remember me marking and saying to you that if it fails, it will work as a confirmation, and then I can engage here? But did it fail? Actually, it didn't. It's still continuing to providing support here. Okay, that's how my rules saves me. The folks who came with a mindset like to use me as a signal, they are leaving angry. The folks who came here with the open mindset to learn, they're gonna be living with like a lot of patience. How you should be doing it with your patience, how you should be engaging in a low probability setup that you don't believe will work out on your demo account. So these are the things that I believe you learned from my trading today. Okay, and I will continue to tape read. I still haven't took one setup today, and I want to do that because this week I only took like one setup on indices. Other than that, one setup on crypto. So I did make money, but it's very low. I wanna make more money, and it was Eid. Okay, so I spend more than I usually do. I'm short on my money, so I need it. Let's see if price gives another setup. If not, if price is not presenting a setup inside the silver bullet and 1050 to 1110, then I'm gonna be done for this week. So our 950 to 1010 macro over. We are trading inside of our silver bullet. Ten 50 to 10 to 11. Okay, so 11, this 1 hour time period. Let's tape read this. This whole fractal. And why am I putting my zones towards the buy side? Okay, because I'm expecting to see a reversal. I want to see this trendy market getting filled, and it's most possibly will happen at lunch, because that's the period when market reverses. Okay, and I believe it will happen inside 1050 to 1110. That's why I'm still here, and I'm gonna be tape reading until that. If inside 1050 to 1110 a reversal is not happening, it won't happen today, and it will continue to do so delivery towards buy side liquidity. And I'm not interested in AM session price action anymore in AM session. So let's wait. Yeah, yesterday's lunch macro was great. I didn't saw it, but glad that you caught something. 2 news coming. I don't believe there's any high impact news left. Right, yeah, all high impact news got delivered. The high impact and medium impact news, that's what I focus on. Other than that, like the low impact news, it doesn't matter. Yeah, there's like there's no news though. Do you guys see any news at PM session? No. The 10 o'clock news was the last one. Okay, I want to see like for what price is reaching. Okay, like where price is going on higher time frame. I'll do that right now on Nasdaq because it's aggressively delivering towards buy side. And I want to learn where price is reaching. The levels that I didn't saw. On daily chart, there's nothing other than this week. So I'll focus on the 4 hour, and we do have a breaker here. And it's failing. So do you guys see in every trend market, price don't actually respects the other PD areas? Like there was a breaker. If I drop down, like let me mark this order block, this bearish order block. If I drop down to like the hourly chart, do you guys see a breaker here? Higher high, new higher high on Nasdaq. So all of these down close candles are working as a breaker, and I'll take this breaker into my consideration. Let's mark the mean threshold. which is here. And I would like to see a reversal from anywhere inside these two levels, the main threshold and the upper quadrant. Price is reaching all the way up there. So other than these two levels, I don't see anything. I see a swing high on daily chart. I believe price revisited the level that ICT marked, right, on ES. ES, so it's still it's couple points left to reach there. Like look at ES. ICT did gave us actually a signal, but do you guys see any entry level here other than this fair value gap? I don't see it. And I don't see anything to trade in this price action. The reversal, it may not happen today, or it may, but it may not reach like all the way down here. But in coming week, folks, like we'll see a very heavy drive lower. Okay, look at these levels. It's so clean to stay longer. Okay, look at that. Relative equal lows everywhere is full with relative equal lows, double bottom. Retails are now in heaven, and they will get wrecked very soon. I think the retail double bottom, double top traders and the trendline traders, they are in a huge profit now. So the market basically provides for everyone. Okay, folks, like if you believe that retailers don't make money and retail concept doesn't work, you are still living in darkness. Market provides setup for everyone. ICT student, you will see setup. The retail student who trade patterns, they will see setup, they will find setup. So at the end of the day, ICT concept does give us confidence. Okay, you know when to engage. So it's like a more probability than the retail concept because of the time that we can align with our setup. We know when will our setup form, so we are in those perspective, we are ahead of the retail traders, and that gives us a huge like benefit in our setup. But if you are trading like retail concept and you are following risk management, you will do make money, and it's not that hard, but it takes a great deal of time to find success into retail concept because it's not organized. That's the main thing. What ICT did is like he organized all of his concept. It's like model wise, you can choose models, where in retail they mix everything. No one only trades a trend line. Okay, no one does that. They will mix every other fucking concept. That's where it gets so fucking confusing. Like when I was a retail, I was trading with Ichimoku Cloud, but there was more than that. Like you'll have to watch EMA, then other stuff. Okay, I forgot. But a lot of the stuff that I was like using, like trend line, support and resistance, if a trend line is getting broken, the fact is they don't know when it's gonna be getting broken. And that's where the precision comes in ICT concept. With a certain degree, we know that from these levels at this time period, price can reverse. In retail world, it doesn't exist. So on Nasdaq, price reached to this red line that you see is the mean threshold of that breaker block. Okay, from these two levels, I told you guys that these two levels will be the last levels that I'm gonna be tape reading, and we'll be expecting to see a reversal. And seems like price is reversing from the midway of the breaker block that I marked on hourly chart. But still wait. Okay, let's wait. Don't push the button here. We need more confirmation. It's just one confirmation. Do you guys see the breaker here? Do you guys see the pattern? I'm talking about the pattern that is aligning with our narrative. So our stop hunt is here. Stop hunt, higher high, new higher high, down close candles, breaker, mean threshold of this breaker here, the upper quadrant of this breaker here. From these two levels in a breaker, I expect to see a reversal, which seems like happening, but the question is, will I be able to find the setup in this trendy market? Do you keep track of your percent and wins losses? Yes, I do, in a Notion template. Okay, in Notion I basically mark everything is there in my journal. Every single trade that I take is there, with what setup I took it, it's there. So this is basically how I journal on Notion. Maybe you were interested to see that, Robert. Okay, so that's how I do it. This is the whole my May. Okay, I'm gonna put an alert before I do actually explain about my journal, because I don't want to miss anything. Yeah, so this is like the whole journal of my May, couple of days, May 22. So how I do it, this is my pair, in what pair I'm trading, then this is the direction, like short, long, what kind of trades I'm taking, the dates, the outcome, if it's a loss or win. Then there's like the P&L, how much I'm making on each trades. There's the risk, what percentage I'm using. Basically I do like 0.5% of my account, which seems like a lot lower than the other traders the risk on, but I find it pretty usable. Me, basically, if I'm getting like $500 from one trade, I'm happy. That's a lot for me. Then there's the R, risk to reward ratio. If I'm winning a trade, then I'm putting it here. The entry time frame, in what time frame I entered. So as you can see, 3 minute, 1 minute, that's what I do. Then there's the entry window, in what time zone I entered, 7 to 8, 8 to 9. All that you can see is AM session, in between AM session. Then in what days, Monday, Tuesday, like this. What model, breaker block, inversion, BPR. That's it. That's how I do it. If you guys are interested in this template, I can share it on like my Telegram if you guys want it. Okay, on ES I do see a breaker. On ES, that's a very clean breaker on 1 minute chart. The breaker here, but on Nasdaq I don't see anything, any breaker formation, but I do see a breaker here. This down close candle. But I will not take this setup, folks. Like, I need more confirmation than that to push button, not just a breaker. And on ES it looks really choppy, the price action compared to Nasdaq, so I'll be focusing on Nasdaq. And Dow, the same thing. Relative equal high here though. So whenever price does that, know that it's a sign from price that price will come back to these levels again. Okay, I do see an inversion here that price is respecting. Do you guys see it? The inversion here. So basically it's a fair value gap. Okay, now I'll wait for the next candle, and I'll wait to see like if the next candle is retesting this inversion and going lower. If it does that, I believe I'll be able to find a setup. My setup is here from the inversion. So the next candle, I'll wait for that next candle to open. And why I need a little bit more extra confirmation, because of the liquidity levels right here on Dow. Look at these clean levels. So this candle open lower, right? It's getting support towards sell side. Now let's wait. So the trade idea will be something like this. I believe I'm not going to be pushing button here because it's a trendy market, folks. Rather, I'll try to tape read this setup. So this is the whole setup with a stop loss above here. TP inside this daily volume, sorry, this volume imbalance from 3-minute chart. Oh, I have both 1-minute chart here. Okay, so this is like this. Okay, I don't have an edge on trendy market, so basically I will not take this setup. Rather, I'm open to tape read it without pushing any button. Okay, that's what I mean. So this is gonna be an inversion setup. If it's working out, or if it's not, then I believe price will. If it's not working out, okay, if price is not going lower from this inversion, then it's gonna be because of these levels on Dow, these relative equal highs. Inversion. Hours, minutes, 1 minute. Okay. Good now. This one visibility on 1 minute chart. Okay, good. There's no other level that I see from where price can get support towards buy side liquidity again, other than this volume imbalance. So that gives me an extra confidence in this setup, which I'm tape reading. Okay, and as you can see, this candle closed below this inversion. So by theory, I want to see price going lower. Okay, like if it was not a trendy market, and I would have pushed button here. You guys are looking at ES. How is ES behaving? Do you guys see that this breaker block failed? Yeah. So in a trendy market, price does things like this. Okay, it will just continue to respect the bullish PD arrays rather than the bearish ones. So that's why I'm preferring to tape read this setup. Okay, it's a low probability setup. There's relative equal highs which are still intact on Dow. Do you guys see it? These relative equal highs. So because of that, now that they are moving together, and they have Dow has relative equal highs here, I see this setup as a low probability. Because of that, I'll not push the button on my live funds. Rather, I'll free open to tape read this setup. Hourly 3 minute. Yeah. SMT between ES and NQ. Now there's SMT. Really? Where? 10-year chart. There's SMT. Where is the SMT? I don't see it. What I see is that these relative equal highs. So now the price went above this inversion. I don't believe in this setup anymore. Price should have been like lower as it's closed its candle spotty below here. Now do you guys see why I avoided this setup to take it? Look at the logic, okay? They both are delivering the same way, okay? They both are moving towards buy side. They both are doing that. So now that Dow left this relative equal high, that was the main confirmation for me not to take this setup rather than tape read it. So it goes back to your question again, William, right? How do you know that that's a plus setup? Now do you know that, right? Your targets like relative equal high and low, that's how I do it, okay? Relative equal high and low, that's where I target, and my target is above my bias, right? My bias is bearish. I want to see price clearing out the relative equal lows. But is it happening here? No, price is generating my targets above. It should be below, it's above. So because of that, so it takes time to look at charts with similarities between other charts like this, and it's way more like easy compared to looking at dollar. You know, like if you're looking at dollar, they are moving opposite. But if you find a chart that are moving similarly and generating liquidity and respecting each other's liquidity levels, then it becomes more easy to use it as a barometer. ES didn't clear out the buy side liquidity. Do you see ES clearing out the buy side liquidity? The buy side liquidity is here, 44.93, right? Seems like a breaker formation here. Lower low, new lower low, up close candle. And again, relative equal high. So basically that's SMT now, right? This relative equal high, and there's lower high, sorry, higher low here. So there's another SMT with ES, yes, and Dow did the same thing. So that's SMT Dow. Let me check the Dow. Yes, so there's SMT here going on, but I don't basically trade using SMT. SMT is like a relative equal high and low level for me. So our last macro is going to be running at 10:50 to 11:10 that I'm going to be tape reading with you all. So the silver bullet today wasn't that significant, right? Like look at that, there wasn't any clean delivery inside the silver bullet even on higher time frame, like 3 minute. Is there any fair value gap that price respected on 5 minute? So this was before the silver bullet. Inside the silver bullet there's basically nothing but choppiness. SMT, yes. So in a clean day, okay folks, like the way I expect to see price action is not like this. Once price goes below a inversion, I don't expect to see a return like this, right? But it happened today. What I expect to see is more like price closing a candle very below the next candle. Each of the next candle that price will generate, it should support price toward lower, okay? this BC, it was supposed to provide support for price to buy side liquidity, but it failed. So when price fails a fair value gap, you expect to see the same fair value gap providing resistance towards the opposite direction. I can see PM session falling fast. Really, I believe at lunch we will have something like this. This level is way too open for price to leave it. Okay, at least price will revisit the upper quadrant or the midway. The ideal scenario will be price revisiting the midway gap of here, of this opening range gap, and then stopping or consolidating, something like this. So here, as you can see, price respected this inversion pretty nicely inside this time period, 10:20 to 10:30. Do I see any fair value gap? I do see this one on 1 minute. So maybe it's our silver bullet setup though on NQ, right? Let's see. There's a lot of relative equal lows. Now let's see if price returns back to this fair value gap or not. So these down close candles are mitigation blocks. Some of you confuse it as a breaker block. It's not a breaker. It's more like a mitigation block because there's no stop hunt. No stop hunt. Price is not going above this level here. So it's basically not a breaker. Rather, it's a mitigation block. And if your model is mitigation block, you can execute. I believe you can execute here. Dow looking very good. Let's look at Dow. Our breaker here from the higher time frame. Breaker block. So price revisited this gap again, this CB. Now that we have a SMT, should I push the button here? We are inside of our silver bullet. And if I put it into a perspective, this trade idea, it should be like this. I'll not take this setup, but I'll taper it like I did here. Okay, these are low probability market condition, folks. I don't have an edge inside here. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, like I'm seeing something. I don't see anything. It's all I see is like low probability setup. So I'm not gonna take it. I will taper it. I have no wish to lose money. Okay, rather than protecting my capital is also making money to me. So that this inversion is our last line of defense. If it's not holding, okay, this trade idea is wrong, and we do have relative equal highs on Dow. Look at that. So as long as these are staying, I'm not gonna take any trades. I will open to taper it, everything. So the reason behind me outlining this setup is that there's a SMT, then there's S inversion that price is respecting currently, like closing candle below, then returning back to it. There's a fair value gap here. So price basically like provides liquidity inside this fair value gap, then returning back to this inversion. And the trade is, I think, happening towards buy side liquidity. If this fair value gap is not failing, okay, price will hunt buy side liquidity. if this fair value gap is not failing and working as inversion again. I want to see this candle right here going below this fair value gap. If it's doing something like this, folks, like getting support from this fair value gap, this small little one, okay, price will hunt relative equal highs here. So do you guys see that it's a low probability setup because of this? Even though there's SMT, the trend is bullish. SMT, relative equal highs on every other chart, like ES, relative equal high, Dow, relative equal high. So these are the things that if I see on chart, I like to avoid those kind of trades. So again, it goes back to your question, Anderson, right? How do I avoid and mark A plus and low probability setup like this? My target should be lower, not above me. If it's above me and my bias is like in opposite direction, that's a low probability setup for me. Okay, so this red line, I believe you guys forgot, this was our hourly breaker block mean threshold. Okay, hourly. So there's a breaker from the hourly chart and it's the mean THRES the mean threshold of the breaker block from hourly. Okay, so looking good. As I told you guys that this fair value gap should fail, it failed. So now I believe we can target this level. Now I believe price should reach down here. But again, it's a low probability setup. Look at the relative equal high that price is generating continuously. Order block, respecting price, respecting it. I want to see it fail. Okay, it's a trendy market and price is using like every other bullish PD area to get support. I want to see it fail. This one, this bullish order block. I don't want to see price respecting it. As long as price is staying below this fair value gap, we can expect to see price hunting liquidity down here. If it's going above that, again, I believe, folks, this inversion will not hold. Okay, because these levels are too clean to stay. And there's also SMT there. If you look at Dow 1 minute chart, SMT here. So today's market is a very low probability condition. Like look at your chart, look at your own chart, how price is behaving inside each of these levels. Every one of the PD area that are bullish, price is respecting it. And it's continuously generating SMT with other charts which are failing, then it's generating again, then it's failing again. So if your bias was like bullish and you are like the only folks who made money today is like who had bullish bias and who believe like these relative equal lows will not get tagged. And I believe it's only ICT who did that, right? He was the only person on Twitter who was calling bias on buy side liquidity. Well, I had a bias on buy side liquidity in specific levels, like the daily BPR on Dow. I wanted to see price going there and then reversing, right? So I was actually expecting bullish price action first, then a reversal inside the PM session, but it didn't happen. It continuously delivering towards buy side. Thank you. Hope you will continue live streaming during the summer. I'm gonna be like for last couple of days I was not live streaming because I had my exam going on, my final exam, and I was like trying to not get focused on anything else other than my study, because I don't study and I wanna pass in my exam, and I did. Okay folks, so it's over. It's not coming back until like 3-4 months now, so I'm free for 3-4 months totally. And I think I'll be doing live stream every day from next week. And there wasn't like many uploads for last couple of days on my YouTube. From now on you will see me uploading continuous videos. So I believe this was like not a high probability setup, but a setup was here and I was able to outline it, right? I outlined it when price was here with this SMT on ES, and I was able to outline from where price can actually reverse the mean threshold of the day, the hourly breaker. Do you guys remember that I showed you all? Yeah, so when you mark a breaker on higher time frame, you should be focusing on like the mean threshold of it, like a order block on higher time frame, rather than focusing on the whole fractal. Mark, suppose you are marking a bullish order block on higher time frame, okay, then mark the mean threshold and the lower quadrant. These two levels are the ideal levels for price to reverse, okay. And like if you are marking a bearish order block, then mark the mean threshold and the upper quadrant. On a bullish order block, it's the mean threshold and the lower quadrant. On a bearish order block, is the upper quadrant and the mean threshold. Okay, that's how it goes. These are like two ideal points for price to reverse inside from any order block, any fair value gap, anything at all. Okay, any new week opening gap. If you are expecting a bullish price action from a new week or new day opening gap, expect price to reverse from the midway and the lower quadrant. That's how it goes. Okay, for bullish, I'm gonna say it again. For bullish order block, midway lower quadrant. Bearish order block, midway upper quadrant. Ideal place for price to reverse. Precision is there. Okay, I see ICT folks marking only order block and not knowing from where price can actually reverse. These kind of things, okay, once you continuously look at these things on your own chart, you may not be able to execute here, but in future you will be able to execute here. Okay, so your experience, by the time that you will see your experience is building, your fear is going away once you keep seeing and looking at these things like this. So another order blocks that price is respecting rather than going below here, where is our like the relative equal lows are resting here, right? So my stop loss, I'll put my stop loss above this inversion. If I was trading this setup, right, I'll manage my stop loss like this. There's no way that I'm holding if price is going above this fair value gap. this red line, this fair value gap I'm talking about, this CB, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. This one should hold, and it's the last line of defense, so I'll mitigate my losses more like this. Okay, some of you may not understand why I am putting my the stop loss here, right? You may ask me like, HYDRA, you can still expect to see it drop down. Okay, then price can easily come all the way up. Like, it may want to take orders from this inversion. No, it don't want to take orders from this inversion. It already took orders from this inversion a couple of times. Look at that, it closed below, went up into the premium, then came below. Look at that back and forth price action inside this inversion. This inversion is efficient, okay, towards delivering liquidity. Price should not reverse and come back inside this inversion again. If it's doing that and other PD arrays are failing, like 2 or 3 PD arrays, like this one is the third PD array that will fail if price is providing liquidity towards buy side. Price is getting support from these order blocks, 1 PD array, right? Then it went above these candles. This fair value gap, if it's providing support towards buy side, this is gonna be the second PD array. The third one will be this one. So if 3 PD arrays are failing, I'm not holding. So do you guys see the logic now? Back and forth price action makes a PD array balanced. So this inversion is balanced. If price is returning back to it, it will not get resistance towards sell side from it. It will get support. And there's also relative equal highs here. So it makes sense for price to go towards buy side liquidity if it's failing these levels, if it's getting failed from these levels. Okay, folks. So I hope that makes sense for why am I putting my stop loss here. Price is fractal, Romeo. When you see a order block on weekly chart, that order block is a breaker block on lower time frame. That breaker block is just a fair value gap on lower time frame in another lower time frame. So price is fractal. The things that you see on higher time frame, the same thing you will see on lower time frame, and all of time frames will make sense. Not for the newbies to make those time frames like in a perspective, or to put those time frames into a narrative, like how to use higher time frame aligned with lower time frame. That takes time. So to me, folks, like, I believe it was a very educational session for me. Okay, I'm gonna be closing here. I have no interest to do anything with this price action, but I learned a lot, and I'm gonna say to you what I did learn. I learned in a trending market my model don't work. Price will continuously respect every other bullish PD array, okay, in a trendy market. It doesn't matter if it's a bearish or bullish. If it's a trendy market, it will continuously to do so. And how do you identify, how do I identify a trendy market? When price is respecting like only bullish PD array or bearish PD array and not respecting other liquidity levels like relative equal lows, like that. Okay, if price is leaving relative equal lows and only providing liquidity, like only getting support from the bullish PD array or bearish PD arrays, then it's a trendy market. And then I should know that my breaker block model will not work. Did you guys saw I literally traded tape reader from 8 a.m. till now 11 a.m. Did you guys saw any breaker block formed on any chart that actually gave 2R? Yes, there was a bullish breaker block. Yeah, so that goes back to it again. Okay, so in trendy market, price will only respect bullish PD arrays. If your bias is right, which was for me not, because I saw relative equal lows, right? There was a lot of relative equal lows, unfilled fair value gap. So I'm happy with my progress right here, right? And I was happy not to push the button even when I saw low probability trades. So I believe that's something you learned from me today, how to avoid pushing button on your live funds or on your funded account when you don't believe in a setup. Like a setup like this, I don't believe in it. Like the setup, 2 other setups that I showed you all right before, those setup failed, okay, because those setup were like low probability setup, and you heard me mentioning it. It's a low probability setup, folks. Don't take it. We are just tape reading it, okay? I know how to identify my low probability setups in my model. Do you know that? That's what you should be focusing on, how to learn it from me. How am I doing that? How am I identifying low probability setup? Because that's the hardest thing for some of you, right? You don't know which setup is a low probability, which one is a high probability. You only focus on pattern. Here, look at me. I'm not focusing on pattern rather than the narrative. And if my narrative is aligning with time and my setup, only then I'm taking it. If it's not, if time is not there, if my liquidity levels that I can target on, it's not there, then I will not take that setup. It's a low probability setup to me. That's how I identify my A plus and the low probability setup. And in future, now that I'm free, I'll make a video about how to identify a high probability setup and a low probability setup using time and breaker block. Okay, so this will be it for today, folks. This was the last setup that I outlined for you all, and I explained everything, I believe, like why I believe that price should not reach there, why I believe price should reach there. And I hope you learned something. If you came here with a mindset to use me as a signal, I believe you didn't, and I'm glad that you didn't learn anything or found anything at all. But if you came with a mindset with the open to learn, then I believe you got something from today's session. So this will be it for today, and I'll catch you guys probably in this weekend. I'll try to live stream if Bitcoin is clean or crypto is clean and having a clean price action. I'll do tape read or like live trade with you all. And this is it for today. I'm closing it here. Don't force any trade idea, by the way, okay? Let today go. Market may reverse, but look at the relative equal high, folks. Don't do it, okay? You may get lucky and make money, but what about the rules? What about being patient? You should be patient like me. So have a nice weekend, folks. Peace.